Let's talk about something most people completely misunderstand: body fat. Because when people think about fat, they think about storage: calories in, calories out, eat less, move more. But that model is incomplete. And if you've ever felt like you're doing right things, but your body isn't responding, this is the piece that explains why. Because fat is not just storage, fat is part of your immune system. It's active, it's responsive, it's constantly receiving signals and making decisions. So instead of asking, how do I lose fat? A better question is, why is my body holding onto it? Because your body does not hold onto fat randomly, it does it for a reason. Let's break that down. There are two very different states your fat tissue can be in. The first is what we call flexible, healthy fat. This type of fat stores energy when needed, releases energy when needed, responds to signals properly. It's not stuck, it's active and adapts. Now compare that to the second state, constrained, inflamed fat. This type of fat holds onto energy, doesn't release it easily, sends stress signals, and activates the immune system. It's not flexible, it's defensive. And this is where everything changes. Because when fat becomes constrained, it no longer is just storage, it becomes part of the problem. It starts sending signals to your immune system, and your immune system responds. Macrophages move into that tissue and they start interacting with the fat cells. And now we have what's called chronic low-grade inflammation. Not enough to feel sick, but enough to change your system. Now, your body is receiving signals that say something isn't right. And when your body senses that, it changes everything. It shifts metabolism, it reduces fat release, and increases energy and stability. And now you're stuck. This is why people feel like, I can't lose weight, my body just won't respond, or it's not doing what it used to, because the system is not in a state where it's willing to let go. Now here's where this connects to everything we've built. Inflamed fat tissue sends signals. Those signals affect energy production, neurotransmitter responses. So now dopamine drops and motivation drops. Serotonin destabilizes and moods fluctuate. GABA decreases, so it's harder to relax. Norepinephrine increases, so you're more on edge. And again, it looks like separate problems, but it's one system. Now let's make this real. Imagine two people. Person A wakes up clear, has stable energy, can go periods without crashing, and feels relatively calm, can lose fat when needed. Person B wakes up, needs stimulation, crashes throughout the day, feels more reactive, and struggles to lose fat. From the outside, it looks like discipline, but underneath it's signaling. Person A has flexible fat tissue. Person B has constrained, inflamed fat tissue. That difference changes everything. Now here's the important part. Fat becomes constrained over time through chronic inflammation, poor metabolic signaling, constant energy instability, and lack of recovery. And once it's in that state, you can't just diet it away because the body is protecting it. It's protecting you. Now here's the shift. If fat can become constrained, it can become flexible again, not through force, through signaling. So what actually changes this? First, reduced inflammatory pressure, because inflammation is what locks fat in the first place. So simple things matter. Improving gut signaling, reducing foods that trigger you, supporting digestion. Even small reductions in inflammation can start to shift how fat behaves. So, create metabolic pressure correctly, not extreme restriction, but through periods where your body is encouraged to use stored energy. This is where structured approaches matter, because random dieting often increases stress, which makes fat more resistant. But controlled, intelligent pressure can restore flexibility. 3, timing. Your body responds to when you eat, not just what you eat. Spacing intake, allowing periods where insulin drops, gives your body the opportunity to access stored energy. 4, movement. Not just for burning calories, but for signaling. Movement improves insulin sensitivity, improves fat oxidation, improves mitochondrial functioning. Even something simple like walking after meals can significantly improve how your body handles energy. And 5, immune system signaling. This is where it gets deeper. Your immune system determines whether fat is stored, released, and protected. So when immune signaling improves, fat becomes more flexible. This is why things like gut health and inflammation reduction and microbiome support are not just health topics. They directly affect fat behavior. Now, here's the clinic pearl. Fat loss is not primarily a calorie problem. It's a signaling problem. Absolutely, calories matter, but signals determine what your body does with them. And if the signals are wrong, the system resists change. Now, here's where this becomes more powerful, because when signaling improves, fat doesn't need to be forced off, it becomes available. Your body starts to use it. Energy stabilizes, inflammation drops, and everything else improves. Not because you pushed harder, but because the system shifted. So if you take one thing from this, make it this. Your body is not holding onto fat because it's broken. It's holding onto fat because you're protecting. It's literally protecting you. Because from your body's perspective, fat is not just storage, it's safety, it's backup, it's protection against instability. So when your system detects inflammation, unstable energy, poor recovery, it doesn't let go. It literally tightens control. And that's the part most people don't understand. They think they need more discipline, more restriction, more effort. But the system underneath is doing the exact opposite. It's holding on harder. So they push more and the body resists more, and that's the cycle. But once you see this, everything changes, because now you stop fighting your body and you start understanding it. You stop asking, how do I force fat loss? And you start asking, what signal is my body responding to right now? Because that's where the control is. And when you change those signals, something shifts. Fat becomes available, energy stabilizes, inflammation drops. Not because you forced it, but because your body no longer needs to protect itself. That's the difference. And this is where everything we've built comes together. Motivation, mood, stress, recovery, energy, fat. This is not separate. They're all part of one system, responding to signals. And once you understand that, you stop chasing fixes and start changing the system itself. That's where real control comes from. That's where things actually start to work. Remember, you're not broken, you're responding. And until the next time we meet, remember, healing is easy. Have a great day.